much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rot? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Run with these that a lot. Penitentiary chances just to make a couple bucks. My heart so cold I could put it in my cup. Gang versus the world, me and my dog, it was us. Then you went and wrote a statement and that really f***ed me up. My brother lost his life and it turned me to a beast. My brother got life and it turned me to the streets. I've been through the storm and it turned me to a G. But the other side was sunny, I get paid to rap on beats. How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rot? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Run with these that a lot. How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rot? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Run with these that a lot. Penitentiary chances just to make a couple bucks. My heart so cold I could put it in my cup. Gang versus the world, me and my dog, it was us. Then you went and wrote a statement and that really f***ed me up. My brother lost his life and it turned me to a beast. My brother got life and it turned me to the streets. I've been through the storm and it turned me to a G. But the other side was sunny, I get paid to rap on beats. How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rot? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Run with these that a lot. How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rot? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Run with these that a lot. Penitentiary chances just to make a couple bucks. My heart so cold I could put it in my cup. Gang versus the world, me and my dog, it was us. Then you went and wrote a statement and that really f***ed me up. My brother lost his life and it turned me to a beast. My brother got life and it turned me to the streets. I've been through the storm and it turned me to a G. But the other side was sunny, I get paid to rap on beats. How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rot? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Run with these that a lot. How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rot? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Run with these that a lot. Penitentiary chances just to make a couple bucks. My heart so cold I could put it in my cup. Gang versus the world, me and my dog, it was us. Then you went and wrote a statement and that really f***ed me up. My brother lost his life and it turned me to a beast. My brother got life and it turned me to the streets. I've been through the storm, man, it turned me to a G. But the other side was sunny, I get paid to rap on beats. How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rap? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Around with these that? A lot. How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rap? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Around with these that? A lot. Penitentiary chances just to make a couple bucks. My heart so cold I could put it in my cup. Gang versus the world, me and my dog, it was us. Then you went and wrote a statement and that really f***ed me up. My brother lost his life and it turned me to a beast. My brother got life and it turned me to the streets. I've been through the storm, man, it turned me to a G. But the other side was sunny, I get paid to rap on beats. How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rap? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Around with these that? A lot. How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted you? A lot. Left you out to rap? A lot. How many pray that you flop? A lot. How many lawyers you got? A lot. How many times you got shot? A lot. How many you shot? A lot. How many times did you ride? A lot. How many done died? A lot. How many times did you cheat? A lot. How many times did you lie? A lot. How many times did she leave? A lot. How many times did she cry? A lot. How many chances she done gave you? Around with these that? A lot. Penitentiary chances just to make a couple bucks.
Hello. Today is Friday, 11:20. I'm doing a news trip for LOT community. I'm very happy to be back and connect to everyone. Um, this version of the organization, we decided to start with community. So we build the team, the products together with the people in this chat and beyond. Today I wanted to share beginning of work on the new. Perhaps I need to show the previous version of the keynote, and we can start working on a new one with updated times, and everything is brand new. So we can start. We can do the. Uh, we can do the new version. I go through the previous one. So um, I feel that the first version of the company was like R&D lab more than the functionable company organization. I think in 4 years we created a lot of new things, from physical packages and its products to packaging experience to branding and user experience. So a lot was prototyped and a lot was made. Um, I think we focused, but we touched almost every aspect of the company that can be, from something that we should do now to something we can do in the future. I feel that the brand is well established and it can be uh, a household name, and within 5-7 years it could be a household name where people refer to it as highly designed self-care experiences, from digital to physical, from physical to digital. We made some predictions, and some of them happened in one way or another way, but the core idea is that every product evolves and uh, to its next version, eventually connecting the experience together. So we start in different pieces so we can connect them later. And more you see the narrative unfold, more you see the products uh, evolve. Uh, you can see uh, the narrative, and perhaps we're moving a little fast for the time, and so a lot of things that can be were prototyped very early. think one of the core premises of the company is that we curate the entire day, and we help to stay connected to uh, your daily routine in non-intrusive way. So uh, the products designed for different time of the day, and I think that's the most uh, interesting part about the product line. So the roadmap is designed around the day. So the products are designed for your uh, routine day. Let's say, but that's why the focus is on self-care, because the top line is hygiene products, and hygiene products so, creates a lot of routine. So self-care, hygiene products, and then everything else that you can use throughout the day on repeat. So we decided to the one of the we thought that one of the disadvantages of DT as direct-to-consumer brands were um, that they actually very um, they create huge brands, but uh, they're limited to their own experience, and uh, to have the whole lot line, you would have to be subscribed to like 10 different companies. So it's 10 different subscriptions, 10 different payments. What we want to do is to put it all under one bill. Um, and so if you want, of course, you can shop and customize your brand book where you have the brands that you like. Perhaps there's also an option for people who want it to be uh, just consume less time on that part, and press a button and have all the necessities delivered. So there are just this many time slots in the day that we use. It's brushing our teeth, washing our face, going to shower, going to sleep. So there's a lot of fixed time slots and fixed routines that you uh, want to maintain for the health of the being. Um, so why don't focus on those hours, on those routines, and ship necessary products for that moment? That created, as I said, the roadmap for the company. In that sense, logically, if we keep in the core idea of the routine and day time slots of the day, that means that the roadmap is fixed, is that it's can be anything else but these products. There's one way is to have a toothbrush, floss, toothpaste. Another way to completely redesign the whole experience, but you still would have a version of toothbrush, probably a version of floss, and a version of toothpaste. Uh, until we start to combining some new materials that you don't need to use toothpaste. Maybe it's inside the brushes itself. Maybe brushes optimize and way innovate on that. But ultimately, these are three products that you need for that 15-20 minutes. Then you have perfume oil, you have deodorant, you have basic lotion, you have nails will grow every week, so there's nothing. Um, it's just the nature, and so every single person on earth need to have uh, those basics, from nail kit to simple moisture cream, deodorant, perfume oil, toothbrush, and toothpaste. Then we start to add different experiences like shampoo and soap and uh, advanced hygiene products. And then uh, we still need the basic clothing, and that's where basic showering, and that's where we can kind of close the loop. So it's a very interesting roadmap if you think about it, and that's why there were a lot of conversations about focus on one product. But for Lot, it's its core that the product is morning, or the product is showering, or the product is um, going outside for a walk. So those things are one experience. It's maintaining yourself. That's why the product design is discrete, and because you use it every day. So uh, there are no logos, no just personalization, just the name. So you know it's for you, and it's uh, under your name. In a way, that's how we see direct-to-consumer brands, and that's how Lot is. Direct-to-consumer brand systems like this is your phone, and this is different services that you plug together, and you pay for them separately. You have to set up them by yourself. You have to maintain the subscription by yourself, and uh, actually on those edges there are a lot of unpleasant experiences happens, like if I want to unsubscribe, or if I want to pause the subscription. Sometimes there are months that you don't want to pay but it was paid, or opposite, you thought it's coming but it's not coming because there's payment problem. um, so and I feel that the brands on the left start to become because of the platforms like Instagram, they start to become very similar in a way in terms of brand. So you're really choosing a feature from those many brands to subscribe. Where we want to have one button, one experience. So we design hardware and we design software and assemble it. So you don't have to assemble it. You don't have to buy separate parts. We choose the best parts. So then we started. It was uh, scripted packaging, scripted, scripted product lineup for the packages, where we had two plans, $49 and $99, and we would have from 1 to 12 preset packages. So everyone would have more or less similar second package, or more or less similar third package. Eventually, we start to add personalization, and we start to see that people actually have different preferences. It's not 50-50. We will have 20% of one preference, 20% of another preference, and so uh, that's the idea of the flexible modular plan uh, was born. That you can set up uh, you can set up modules for yourself and receive products just from that category. So it could be only the uniform, could be only the underwear, could be only oral hygiene. So in a way, this is like sub brands that we create within the platform. That adds a lot of flexibility in terms of the brand. And I think what we see now is with Lot is result of that, because we went to many directions from physical plans to digital plans, and we uh, tried different kind of versions. We even have sound module for the sound and music. So the platform and the brand is incredibly flexible, and any module can be plugged in and plugged out at any moment. So say if we have an oral hygiene partner, or we have the resources to manufacture the kit, we can plug it in any moment and then we can unplug it. And that's the layer of interface that we'll keep, because that's the idea that evolved from the first version. Of course, with where we're going eventually is just one button. So you trust the brand so much, you press subscribe, and you use a certain app or a certain digital experience where you talk to the system and the system learn from you, and we have so much of data analysis uh, that we can pretty much guess what kind of first package you would like, second package would you like, third package you would like, and then on the feedback from those three packages, we can build out next three packages, and so on. So we build, we use subscription for business model, but we also use subscription for building the relationship. The users that we're interested in users to stay for 12, 24, and so on months. With the and For example, on the first version, it was harder because once you pass 12 months, we had a lot of users who were with a lot for 12 months. So it's kind of incredible user lifetime where they would unsubscribe simply because we will have this similar cycle. Then we designed second cycle, so it became 24 months, and still that was repetitive. Whereas the second version, flexible, gives us opportunity to design uh, very different experience for every user. And say we have 100 to 200 products in our library, we can basically playlist them in different ways. So uh, you will subscribe to different playlists in terms of routine and self-care. Something like on the right, the personal, where it's only one subscription button and nothing else, and were really from sci-fi just a few years ago. Now it's with help of machine learning AI. It's not sci-fi. It's a good application for the AI, where it's not gives you something visual, intellectual, but rather works on the background for you and send uh, you the right information and the right products and the right time. That can completely reinvent the idea of subscription because could be not every month. It could be weekly, could be once per 2 months, could be once per 3 months, but you maintain personal relationship with the system, so you know that if the package is coming and it's all transparent, and so you will see it on the right moment. That especially interesting in terms of refills, where the, what was hard, the first version, that refills were hard to calculate. Some people need as much, for some people it was too much, for some people in the same category it was not enough. So the amount of refills, the supply that's sent, can be curated by the machine, and that's very interesting. Work with supply chain, where machine place orders for products, knowing exactly the number, and where a human can only curate and look, but they can't interfere that much because simply based on your feedback, that's the amount of units will be produced. Um, that's very interesting for supply chain and manufacturing in general, to create an AI uh, uh, an AI an AI generated order basically. So we want to combine companies like Stitch Fix, which is very popular public subscription service. That means that it's uh, very doable and it's achievable. There are other publicly listed subscription services, and that's for the next 5 to 10 years for us. That's a focus, subscription. And because we have background in design, and history in design for the past 15 years, we can create very new, brand new experiences that will be inspiring, that will be groundbreaking in terms of design, industrial design, and graphic design. So, industrial design is the user experience, and graphic design is communication, branding, packaging. So, we innovate in both. We had have incredible community of product users and people who follow the story. I hope that it will be all enabled in a new way, and uh, I guess one of the challenging things for us was to scale the company from 500, 600 users to thousands, and with the goal of millions. So this new iteration is where we will keep the experience of the original company. We will keep the spirit of the community. Hopefully, our community will be millions of people soon. Um, it's a lot of work, but the time seems to be right, and the company is mature enough to go to the next stage. The team is uh, changed, and it will be changing constantly. So this is the previous team. Uh, some people stayed, some people not with us, uh, with the company. Some advisors still, we're still in touch and talking. So the company is changing, and there's a lot of opportunity for everyone. I think one of the important part of the brand is that we have this underlying narrative layer, which is very important for product design and communication design, uh, because that idea that we have behind of it's not only the idea of creating basic necessities, it's idea of the basic necessary story, the basic necessary narrative for your life, so you can focus on things that most important for you. And on my personal experience, there's no way to be not even productive, but be able to maintain a relationship if you're not focused on self-care and self-love, and just working on your spirit every day, because it's something that you can generate over time. It's something you can't buy. It's something you can't just uh, apply in 1 hour. It's only can be accumulated, and the right habits and the right products and the right routine create the right mindset, and from right mindset things start to happen. And I think that magic part is what we promote, and nobody can explain how it works. Nobody knows. It's the magic of the universe, but it starts with a healthy mind and healthy body. So those things we promoting, and we don't afraid to start from the beginning. We did it many times. This is the first version, complete restructure build of the company, complete rethinking of what it can be. We did many iterations. Uh, both of our iterations in the past, first physical packaging, subscription, to working with cryptocurrencies and creating cryptocurrencies portal were very successful. Uh, and that's a completely different sides of the spectrum. One is extremely futuristic digital. Uh, it works with cryptocurrency. Another one is very um, traditional and physical, like receiving basic products. We had two sides of the spectrum that were executed perfectly um, in terms of product, in terms of user experience, in terms of communication. That's why we know that we can launch a new version, just like this company, Apple, been doing for many, many years. And first Apple computer was sold in only 175 units, 175 units. And now everyone have iPhone. It's like passport. And they famously uh, would code from scratch the operating system and update it in that way, just to keep it. Remember, there were times when Windows was new version is slower, new version is slower, where Apple was faster and faster, faster because they would do it from scratch. And Steve Jobs said that Apple is a big startup. So I think that mindset is with us. That's the first principle that we inspired, and uh, everything else will come. So that was the first presentation. Um, then we have the new one that I'm starting to work on, and I keep on some things, but I want to focus more on the modern times. I think it will be in work for um, at least a year, as this one, the first one. It's that's the process, and um, I think building products alongside, launching products alongside will be very beneficial for the presentation itself. And so hopefully by the end of the year, we have a new presentation that is focused, that is featuring some prototypes. And that's my focus for the next few months, is to set up the new vision, set up the vision for the new products, and start shipping, be it digital or physical, in the next 6 months. A lot of things depend on the user base, and the business problem with last time was that even for 100 users, we needed to create a full product line, where the minimal units, minimal manufacturing order was to thousands, sometimes 2-3,000 units. So even if we have 100 units, we needed to buy 3,000 units. So I think before we launch physical subscription, we need to accumulate some of the user base, and perhaps start with digital, and perhaps start to ship first products of the routine. So you can subscribe only to one module, which is oral hygiene. I think that's where we will start, and start build up modules from there. So then we launch, say, 2-3 modules. That means that we already have a few thousand users. So that will be a little bit different scale for the company. But instead of starting with 50 products, 20 products for 100 users, we will start with just 1-2 products with one module, basically one module for the same 100, 200, and 1,000 users. So I'll talk a little bit about this new version, and we will go from this point to the next stream and next stream to build up this presentation um, based on the feedback. And if we have no updates, that's okay too. The first stream that we did last Friday was successful. There a lot of people reached out, and I think today we will set up uh, the ideas for the next couple of months. So first we focusing on a company called Lot, and that will be a new domain address. I think we will go away from 24/6. So eventually we'll change the Instagram and the website to Lot, and something I won't spoil it yet. Lot, but it's the Lot, it's the service, and that's the name we will promote, and that is what can become a household name. It's simply a self-care subscription. It can we can say a lot of things like AI subscription, AI self-care subscription, modular subscription, essential basics, basic essentials, essential basics. Uh, it could be subscription. It could be subscription box, surprise subscription box. But I think the focus is self-care subscription. That's where we go back to our roadmap of the day. So we start, say, 6 a.m. That's where we start. And one of the first things you do is you uh, brush your teeth. So that's the beginning of the roadmap, self-care. So why we doing it? Because it creates flow of love. And uh, if you don't have uh, love to yourself, it is very hard to give it back. And if you don't give it back, life really don't support you. So love is very important because when you can give love, you loved, then you can create products that emit certain energy. You walk differently, you have purpose, you have different mindset. And self-care is a gateway to wellness, which is fundamental for the flow of love, allowing you to both give and receive. I'm well. I'm feeling great. I know why I wake up at 6 a.m. just because without alarm by myself. I feel clean. I feel fresh. I feel on time. And no matter what's going on, I feel like belonging to myself and aware of the moment and aware of the relationships that I have. So I'm really connected to uh, people and things I love. How can we do it? How can we guarantee flow of love? We can do it through intelligent self-care system. This is layer up uh, from the product, so we don't call it subscription just yet. It's a self-care system, which can be anything: a digital platform, a media platform. It can be a person. It could be one product, many products. It's intelligent self-care system uh, that works with in a great loop with the user, manufacturing, supply chain, and what we want to do is build an intelligent self-care experience, providing personalized information and tools for daily self-care routines. So It's an intelligent self-care experience that gives personal information and tools. That's the vision. That's what we want to build. That's something that is not doable in one day. We might need 10 years to get to this point. Imagine companies like IKEA, Muji, with software layer, which is subscription personalization. And what we want to build is, for now, for this iteration, is modular, which can last for 10 years, which is modular self-care subscription. You want to subscribe to yourself before anything else. Know yourself, know what you need, uh, have someone to talk to. I think ChatGPT shows us that we all needed a place where we can talk to someone like a therapist, but it's even more personal than therapist, just so it can go somewhere. That's subscription to yourself, but it's very um, professional. What we want to create is more spiritual system, not to compete with the great mind of AI that already created, but mostly to use certain techniques and libraries so it can help you and just you, not have the general information about everything in the world, uh, but mostly you. It's an adaptive, evolving personality mirror model shaped by user feedback and their interactions with the physical environment. This concept of where a offline product like toothbrush can be actually online without Bluetooth is interesting because if there is a right notification and right story within the app or software layer, then you can track those things without even knowing that you're tracking those things. We don't need you to know exactly how much you brush the teeth. We just need to know some statistics and uh, trust your answers and build the roadmap based on those answers. So if we ask you, we know we have something already in the system, and then we ask you, do you need more toothpaste? And you say yes, we can calculate the rest, like how much exactly you need, what kind of toothpaste you need, and when we need to ship it, because we know certain things about your location, about your previous use, about um, just general use of the product. So a lot of things we can build up based on just one answer. Do you need more toothpaste? Which was asked in the right moment. So we're keeping the idea of and focusing on the idea of modular plans, where a module can be digital first module, then it can be sound, and then we can move to physical products. Or opposite, we can start with a physical product. I suggest we start with oral hygiene first and build up from there. Um, that creates a customized bill. So some people would want to subscribe to everything and pay $1,000 per month. Someone would subscribe only to $49, uh, which I think will be minimum for one module, and build from there or switch between modules. Use oral hygiene for 3 months, then switch to body care for 3 months, and so or use both of them, or get a fashion for 3-4 months. And so in that sense, there's we're answering subscription, one of the subscription biggest questions, which is churn rate, the unsubscription rate. Uh, Nobody will unsubscribe from a lot because you always subscribe to something, and that can also make a revolution in subscription business because we design packages around knowing that, for example, fashion you only wanted to have for 4 months to build up your wardrobe, and then you would probably pause it. And if you pause it, it's okay. You switch to something else like basics or home. If you keep going, you will have a more items and different items, and perhaps your bill it will even go up in a good way, knowing that you need more. So that creates, or some modules would go lower in price. Uh, Eventually, what we want to create, and that's also kind of disturbs the idea of disrupts the idea and disturbs the idea of unit economy, because if we don't have a fixed price, then it's very hard to calculate for a human. But for the machine, it will plan and uh, categorize the prices according to almost time of the year, because the subscription goes up and down also based on time of the year. That means that one day the same, and you will trust it because eventually the system designed to save you money. So if sometimes it could go up, sometimes go down. I think that's a very interesting concept, and that moves us closer to the cryptocurrency, where you have credits rather than dollars. So we won't go to cryptocurrency again because we want to focus on the dollar, and it will be a regular unit economy for now, of course, with fixed prices. But eventually, one day, it can be, and we tested that too, which is interesting with Bitcoin version. Um, so now we'll be with fixed prices. I think dynamic pricing is very interesting concept, and it just have a transparent. What we had in the version, we had a transparent margin. So you know that this margin is only, say, 3x, that, and we have transparent uh, cost of goods, and we have transparent operational, and maybe it's mentioned the company kind of going public without being public. So we, like we had in our version, you see public revenue, you see public manufacturing cost, you see public team operational cost, and you by being subscribed to a lot, you already become um, a shareholder. The version that we built, we did it just anyway, but once we did it, there was a lot of questions on the legal part, which is it's easy to create it in cryptocurrency, but then you start to actually think about uh, documents and law, especially now after everything kind of closing down. It's hard, but we still prototyped and shipped a decentralized version, truly decentralized version, where if you have if you use a lot product, you become a shareholder. I think through credit system, through loyalty programs, we can create the same. So that will move us closer to that subscription, one button subscription, that you trust that there's enough money, or if you don't have enough money, you'll be credited and then it will be returned automatically. So you don't have to worry about it because you're not really making the purchase decision like that. You subscribing to service that knows you, knows what's going on in the system, and keep you just updated. So it's more or less like a electric electric bill than a fixed Spotify Netflix bill. So simple question like that, what we also prototype starting on our desktop version, is can change everything, because if there's a intelligent model behind it, it can uh, link this information to many things. Um, so that's our version of creating smart products and bringing the price down. So you can't create intelligent um, floss, for example. It's hard. Like you, uh, but with this system, it is possible. And it can go very nuanced where you just have, so I receive it. I receive 2 packs per month. You receive 3 packs per month. Someone receive 1 pack per 2 months, and that's solves one of the most fundamental uh, problems with supply chain of producing, overproducing, and overshipping. Ultimately, focusing on bringing your bill down for those necessities. And what you're doing by answering these questions, you talking to yourself already in a way that you uh, um, connected to your routine, and you know that okay, because sometimes you need even a reminder for that, or shower, how many showers per week you have. So that's a very basic self-care, which I think will be very important during this time for many people, where you follow your routine, even if it's the simplest things. Um, perhaps we don't need breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I don't think many people follow that routine. Perhaps we only need breakfast, lunch, and snacks, and a lot of things can be redesigned like that. To the extent where we don't push for something that is system required. Uh, Maybe one day you need to brush teeth just before you go to sleep, or just in the morning, and it's okay that you skip. Like even to that extent, I think makes it very human and very user oriented. Not everyone ready to just start fresh on Monday. That's very hard to do, and so tracking your habits and being gentle with them, I think, is the key to this software. And this question help you with your routine. So it's very simple notification and reminder, like a day, like a diary. Diary, diary is spelled diary, uh, where you just start your day right or go to sleep in the right moment with just this simple notification. Also, this same notification in with right data analysis creates tracking of the supply and ships the supply in the right time, which is also essential. And it trains your personal model, where this question will not appear every day. But when this question will appear, you'll know that you missed it, and they know that it knows because of the data analysis and understanding of your sleep habits, of last day's sleep, etc., etc., etc. So full-blown tracking of your body and your habits with just simple questions that you don't see. The simple questions, but without you seeing the information behind it. And you don't see the questions too. You don't pick them. It just comes to you in the right moment. So again, this is narrative that will help with software layer and physical layer and communication layer. I think that will be the focus of the company for the next 6 months, is to rebuild this system again. And for me personally, and for some team members, this is a very long process already. We shipped Lapka in 2013, and it already had some ideas of the same vision, where there were presets to measure the environment. And it's not you just press a button and you have a number, then you have to Google and to check what that number means. It's were presets that were ready to certain self-care routine and self-care narrative. Eventually, later versions, we created interface that would be for LabKBAM, that would be dynamic, and one user would have one version of interface, another user would have another version of interface, where the fonts becoming bigger, where we change the layout of the app, simply based on how drunk you are. We had a customer support system that would be also based on questions, because we had so many customer support emails that we designed build a system that would talk to you to resolve an issue. Simple plug and unplug through those questions would also work. Then we went to Airbnb and we prototyped this system that is called Pilot, which we designed the whole experience of Airbnb as a prototype, simply based on those questions, where the system asks you questions right time and can book you the entire experience, travel, plan, uh, Ubers, airport tickets, I mean flight tickets, airport commute. It will be booked through these questions, which was on another side of the spectrum, because now you have to go to the site, pick a journey, and then book it from there, where it creates the idea where to go, even why to go, through these questions, based on your experience and based on your experience with your experience with the app. This what on the screen is the device that would work without off the grid and you without charging. So for you to, in order to receive the prompt and talk to the machine, you'll need to crank it like a flashlight, and that will be enough to receive the minimum text from the machine, where you can basically say yes and no. And it's a very thin layer of communication where instead of typing something in or inputting something in, which is even location, you just send one number, yes or no. So that was the concept, 1 or 0. Then similar idea evolved to questions on lot, where it was a desktop OS that would be asked questions on the right time, and those questions will be more about your being, about moments that you live, and occasionally about the routine. So for us in the system, it was similar question: what's the size of the shoes, and how you feeling today, and uh, would you prefer to travel on train or the car? It all goes to the preferences, and we would have a like a preference table of the person already, which would go much deeper than uh, style or body size. Will go to mind preferences and even spiritual preferences. Then we only focused on the app with a similar purpose, and I think that's where we left it. That was the um, that was the moment where we stopped physical subscription and we only focused on the app. Um, the app was a mirror of yourself. There was a face facing camera, and on the screen you'll see yourself on the right moment with the question related to the moment. It was a prototype. We shipped it, uh, but never we shipped it through distribution, like developer distribution platforms. Um, but we never went to the App Store. So I think the next version is where we start to build this thing again, not hard coded, but with uh, models behind it. So a person can start to train their model, starting with the question, "Hi, how are you?" And I think that's what we have to focus in the next following months. Despite moving with physical products and brand and communication and subscription itself, the first thing that we can ship is a tracking app. So for 2023, we're looking for machine learning engineer. We need a person who knows how to start and set up a model and create a basic tools, basic prompts, generate basic prompts, and focus on training on those basic prompts without going too deep. Um, to have idea of the timeline, cost, and have first version shipped as soon as possible so we can start testing it and work with users, which I think is critical. So the goal is by the end of the year have the app published on the App Store that can start to generate information about the usage of the products. And perhaps first products will be shipped based on that app. I feel that we can't launch with just a store. I think we can't launch it with desktop subscription. I think it could be relaunched with the app subscription. And with this, not just a button, subscribe, unsubscribe, but rather with this question interface as a very first thing that people see. We're also looking for director of operations, so we can plan this rapid scale in the following 2-3 years. Physical products, digital products, community. We plan to raise money more and again to scale the company because we want to have operations set up in the US. We want to have a manufacturing in the US, and we want to have a packing facility in the US. So those things require a lot of work in terms of operations and uh, building our own Muji factory in America uh, is very possible. It's the matter of buying the right machines and training the personnel, the staff. So planning the right subscription results in buying the right machines and hiring the right professionals. We don't want to go into formulas. We don't want to produce chemicals, but we want to have a facility for packing and shipping because that will close supply chain for us for personalization and AI-powered interface. If the user wants an update, that update should be uh, communicated on the packaging. That means that we need to have instant access to packaging machine. And we want to automate as much as possible because there will be so many variations to the packaging that it will be hard to hire and train this amount of staff. So we want to have eventually machines and system behind packaging that will be optimized for personalization. We don't want to go for a third-party fulfillment because it would create the same subscription box that everyone have. We still don't want that, and the machines on the floor is the guarantee of that. So if you potential director of operations, we need to plan scale for warehouses, production line, and shipping line here in America. We can still produce items all over the world, and will want to do it, and that will be uh, very important and great. But as final assembly, I feel that will be happening um, within our facility. Only because of the personalization and the promise of the company. And because of that, we're looking for a manufacturing director, someone with experience working in the US, because there are a lot of different regulations, different ways to work with finance, banking, in order to have a cash flow for manufacturing. So those are the roles we'd like to fill, and starting with machine learning engineer, uh, and move from there. If you're watching this, you can reach me out on Instagram. I think that's the best way, um, and or we can talk here on YouTube. It's there's a lot of work, but we also did a lot of work, and we did almost everything, and we tried every product. So um, I will be focusing on looking for the right partners and uh, on the new products that we can ship as soon as possible. Looking through the comments. Saipi Ermuraki saying the application for the acquisition of a unit should go directly to production, and the company would only be left to build communication. Yes, the company will build communication, design the experience, work on that optimization of those moments. Creating the routine that everyone can live and uh, have very successful, fulfilling life. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this session. There will be more next week. Uh, let's plan ahead. Um Hopefully, there'll be more people uh, for live discussion because there'll be announcement in advance. And I want to do the streams uh, as simple as possible, as long as possible, and keep them unscripted. And eventually, there will be more people here, and we'll be talking uh, uh, to different guests. And I'm very grateful for everyone who joined today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching live. Thank you for your comments. I'll see you next week. Oh, the comment saying the stream was unlisted. I see. Okay, my bad. Well, maybe we do it. This will be public. This will be public, uh, and we do next one in advance and listed. See you soon.